What's going on? This is the Marvelous One, the Stockman. Please like and subscribe to my channel and tell everybody about the Stockman. Today I just want to have a conversation about how you will need to have assets going into 2025. 2025, we are entering a new administration, and this administration is not about giving any handouts, okay? This administration is about cutting government spending. So that means that a lot of the government programs that a lot of Americans that are dependent on are pretty much going to get cut. It's already hard for most working class Americans to make ends meet. And for the last year, maybe year and a half, the stock market has been setting records. However, the average working person who do not have a 401 and who do not have a brokerage account or an IRA account, the stock market setting records didn't mean anything to you, right? And that's why I put this channel together. I put this channel together to try to get everyday people like me to understand that you're going to have to pivot. You're going to have to understand that coming up in 2025, with the new administration that's coming, you are going to have to do whatever you can to make sure that you have assets. Because this administration is about building up people who have assets and who will be able to benefit from those assets. And I want every working class American to be able to have that same opportunity. You see, the school systems, the public school systems, they don't prepare us for buying assets. They don't prepare us. They don't teach us about the stock market. They don't teach us about taking speculative risk. The only thing they prepare us for is they prepare us to go to school and get a job. And there's nothing wrong with that. We all have to work. But what they have failed many of us, and many of us have failed ourselves, is we have not taken the time to understand how the American capitalist system works, okay? They tell us to go get a job, go buy a home, go buy a car, make sure your credit score is right. And that's all fine. And that's all good to a certain extent. Because what's happened is we all have done that. And now the American people are $1.3 trillion in debt. The stock market is setting records. And most of the hardworking American people are not participating in it. Okay? Some of you may say, well, my 401 is up over 250,000, up over 500,000. I got $1 million in my 401. But think about it. Really think about it. Look how long it took you to get that. Okay? Because the system is set up where Wall Street have gatekeepers. The gatekeepers, a lot of people are not going to like it, is your financial planners. The financial planners and the insurance guy who gets a financial license, they are your gatekeepers, right? And their job is to sell you Wall Street products, mutual funds, index funds, life insurance index funds. I'm here to tell you that all this is tied into the stock market. Don't let no insurance person tell you that your money is not tied into the stock market. Okay? Warren Buffett, one of the richest men in America. He became rich because he owns a bunch of insurance companies, right? Okay? And the way that he made his millions was off of your premiums and the premiums of the big insurance companies that he owned. And what he does with those premiums is called a float. And that float, he takes the float, which is your premiums that you pay every month, and he invests that into the stock market. Okay? And that's how he has multiplied his money to give him the nest egg, because here's the thing that they don't tell you. It takes money to make money. So once you start building up money, then you have enough money to throw on at stocks that you can buy for $5 and ride it up to $1,000, and you're able to put hundreds of thousands and billions of dollars into these stocks, and that's what gets you up to become a multi-millionaire and a billionaire. But they don't teach you this. They don't want you to know this. Okay? Only thing they want you to do is go to college. Nothing wrong with it. But now college is so expensive. Kids young adults are graduating from college with $25,000 to $200,000 in debt. So that's delaying them from building wealth, buying a home, you know. And I'm gonna say something that may be controversial, but it's the truth. Even when you buy a home, that's not an asset. It's really a liability. But I like to call it a leverage liability, okay? Because, you know, for years I've been telling people, you know, if you buy a home for $100,000, and then 5 years later you sell that home for $200,000, well, the bank will tell you that you made cleared $100,000. That's not true, because you forget to add in the real numbers. For 5 years you was paying property taxes. For 5 years you had to pay gas and electric. Okay? For 5 years you had to pay upkeep. Okay, so that $100,000 profit that you really think you get, that's not a true profit. That's a profit so that you can take that $100,000 and go buy the $200,000 or $300,000 home and start the process all over. So I'm not saying that you shouldn't buy a home, because I've owned 2 homes. And it wasn't until I bought my second home that I realized that a home is a liability, but it's a leverage liability. Okay? I sold my first home on my own. So I made all the money when I sold my first home. And then I really started to research, is a home a true asset? No, it's not. The only piece of real estate that's a true asset is a home that brings in passive income. A duplex, a triplex, a fourplex. Anything that brings in passive income. That's a real estate investment income. Now, I'm not saying that your home is not an investment, because it's a roof, it's an investment, it builds memories, and it's something that you can pass down. But it's not a true investment, right? So they tell us to buy a home, but they don't tell us to invest outside of our 401 plans. When we invest in our 401 plans, we hope that we can get a company that gives us a company match, right? You should always invest, or you should always participate in the company's 401 program so that you can get the company match. But what they don't tell us is we also should, and this is not financial advice, what you should also do is open up a brokerage account or a Roth IRA account outside of your 401 plan so that you can start buying individual stocks. That's another thing they don't tell you. The gatekeepers tell you don't buy individual stocks. Buy index funds and buy mutual funds. Well, they're going to tell you that because that keeps a flow of money coming in from people that's going to have to work 30 to 40 years. And then after 30 and 40 years, you will build some wealth. But think about that. 30 to 40 years at one job or at several jobs. If you're going to do that, wouldn't you like to know that you could buy back some of your time by spending or investing some of your money outside your 401 into individual stocks? Let's take NVIDIA. NVIDIA is a company that makes semiconductor chips. It's the number one chip company in the world right now. You know, if you'd have put $10,000 or $1,000 or whatever you could afford into that stock, year to date, that stock's up 200-something%. But if you look at your 401, on a good year like we had year to date, you're up about 20, 24, 25%. 200% versus 25%. You see? That's why they don't want you to know. They don't want you to know anything about the stock market. That's why me, the stock man, that's why I'm trying to educate you. That's why I'm trying to show you and educate you and give you some information that could help you. I'm not trying to be a financial planner. I'm not trying to be a financial advisor. I don't want to. But I think the American people, you, owe it to yourself to start to understand that coming up in 2025, you're going to have to get educated on the stock market. You're going to have to get educated on Bitcoin and the crypto market. You're going to have to get educated on learning how to buy individual stocks. You're going to have to get educated and learn how to research different individual stocks. And you're going to have to keep a job because we all going to have to probably go back to work if we're not already working. And we're going to have to cut down on taking some of these expensive vacations and buying these nice shiny cars and too much home because we're not going to be able to afford it. And I know some of you are going to say, well, I can afford it. I make $200,000 or $300,000 a year. And I got $1 million in my 401. But I'm here to tell you, those are in American dollars. And what you don't know and what they're not telling you is the dollar is being devalued each and every day. So you may have $1 million. I've been saying this for a long time. In another 5 years, everybody's going to be considered a millionaire who has a good job and who's been working at a job and putting money in a 401. But that's not the same $1 million that it was yesterday. It's not going to have the buying power. Okay? Now, I know a lot of you may not like this video, but this is real talk. And what I would like for you to do is don't get mad at the messenger. Get educated. Learn about the stock market. Get with somebody that can coach you and teach you. Learn about the cryptocurrency market, Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana. Because if you don't, going into 2025, you will be left behind. Like always, like and share this video with everybody that you know. And I'm the marvelous one, the stock man. Peace.